Okay, here we are in St. Benedict's Hall at the University of Notre Dame Australia, Sydney campus. And we have set up an exhibition, unique and special exhibition, focused on the figure of Christ. Now, the artist whose works we have here is Dr Ouresis Todorovic, and he is an associate professor at the University of Macau. Now, Ouresis has been painting and exploring the Christological theme for more than 25 years. And as you can imagine, he has used lots of different techniques. He refers to different historical periods in terms of art history. He has explored many aesthetic avenues. Now, for instance, here we have two paintings. This one is the traditional theme of acratapinosis, which is the original is a work in a church. It's a fresco, and it's along with this work in the same church in northern Greece. Now, what we see here is, of course, traditional Byzantine painting, but I would say with a twist. So it's not traditional, but what we could call traditionalist. Certain features are very much heightened and pronounced. For instance, you see here the elongated hands, which are more than what one would expect, and a Christ that doesn't really have a neck. The head is as if, you know, stuck on the body. So this sort of, you know, subtle, let's say, deformed Christ is something that makes the traditional into traditionalist and pronounces in this way the hierophanics of the specific theme and topic. Now, of course, we have the Mother of God, although it's a Christological, you know, series, because in the Orthodox Church and theology, the Theotokos, the status of the Theotokos is what it is, thanks to and in the light of Christ. So there is no, let's say, autonomous or independent Marian doctrine or theology. Now we could go to see this painting here, which slightly moves away from the traditionalist into what I would dare call neo-traditionalist. So we have the Apocatastasis here, okay, and of course one could say that yes, this is evidently Byzantine, but it's not quite traditional or even traditionalist. Why is that? Because Ouresis has left the theme, the topic, with only what is necessary. He has taken everything else out, and figures are much more schematic. It's a painting as if it was sculptured. So in this sense, one could call it neo-traditionalist. Again, elongated figures, very common themes and motifs of Ouresis, especially the eyes, the way he stretches them. I would say that in a certain sense, this neo-traditionalist style by Ouresis is in a certain dialogue or belongs to the same atmosphere of Vassilis, the famous modern Greek iconographer from Crete. Now, Apocatastasis has been a very cherished topic for Ouresis. You see here, this is a relief of the Apocatastasis, one of his first works. Of course, the major work you just saw, and another Apocatastasis here, unfinished, but in a way completed. Now, a similar neo-traditionalist work, which in a way relates to Apocatastasis and the death of Christ and his descending, okay, not just from the cross, but into Hades, into, you know, the realm of death, is that painting at the corner, which of course is resurrected Christ. And you see again how it's left only with the bare essential, let's say, content. And of course, you can see again the sculptured features and qualities, how it relates to the one we saw before. But this is quite tricky because it's presumably Christ coming out of the tomb. But one could even say, if you look at it, you know, a bit further back, that it could be Christ going into the tomb. So is he ascending or is he descending? But again, Ouresis here is exploring the unity of these two doctrines of Christianity, the resurrection and the descent into Hades, as aspects of the same sides of the same coin. And of course the bluish, light, even dark and very dark blue, which is one of the palettes with which Ouresis likes to work. Now, having gone from the traditionalist, okay, those two frescoes, to the neo-traditionalist we just saw, and we could go perhaps back to show the detail of the Mother of God and Christ. Again, we see, okay, Christ and Theotokos. Theotokos standing as a sacred figure thanks to and in the light of Christ. So in unity. It's only in unity with Christ that Theotokos has a meaning, okay, in Orthodox theology. Now, going from the traditionalist to the neo-traditionalist, we can look into certain other aspects of Ouresis' work, which are more, let's say, challenging and compelling. And it's his abstract work. And a very interesting series of abstract works that he has done is the series named Cosmic Christ. So Christ as the recapitulation of all the universe. So here we have Christ as a recapitulation of the universe, and the allusion to the galaxy, the whitish, you know, star-like element of these very, very abstract paintings. It's just the face, and it's the features of the face. Again, the elongated, the stretched eyes, okay, the slight sadness, or what we call, in Orthodox theology, harmolipi. Then you have various versions of it. Some of them are very, very deformed, again because the deformed is the other, the totally other, something that hints and in a very, very, let's say, interesting way, points and refers to the sacred. So these belong to the abstract period of Ouresis, which is not quite what he's doing at the time. That one as well is a work from his abstract period. It's called the present, but it's the present of the human race. It's the human after Christ that is in quest of Christ, and in a sense embodies Christ himself on its journey towards the eschaton. Now, of course, these works, these abstract works, go on and on. We have those further down here. Again, we have the resurrected, another theme which is, an obsession of Ouresis, like the Apocatastasis, the resurrection. It's the resurrected Lord in New York. A painting which, is dedicated to his late mother, Stanka Todorovich. And here you have again the deformed, Christ, which a painting, this one, which shares in abstract qualities. But here we have the Hesychast Logos. Again, here it's this is a portable icon. It's a proper icon, a version of his cosmic Christ. You see the universe, black, galaxies, but it is unmistakably a figure which is curled into itself and praying. Personally, this is my very personal opinion now, this work is what I regard as the masterpiece of Ouresis, artistic production. Now, his most recent phase is his neo-realist phase. Here you can see Jesus talking to Pilate. Okay, Pilate ostensibly has asked the question, and what is the truth? Now, this neo-realist phase and work by Ouresis is his attempt to show what would Byzantine painting look like if it had gone along the path of naturalistic artistic mode. So if it had its own renaissance in terms of, art history, that is in terms of naturalism, and the depiction of reality as it is, but at the same time as it is not, that's what it would look like. So here And of course, you can see he's very much playing with great masters, playing with the style of great masters as Caravaggio. This is a Byzantine Christ. You see, it's neo-realist, but the structure, the deep structure of the work is Byzantine. The very schematic, quality, character of the robe, the light that is focused on the central figure. It's coming out of something, but that something doesn't really have depth. Although you get a sense of depth, it's not there at the same time. There and not there. And of course, the masterpiece of his neo-realist experimentations is the Scourging of Christ, this monumental work, which is huge, of course. This is just a smaller version, reproduction of it. We see the abstractness, only what is necessary, the sculptured figures. We see lots of the phases of his development fused, amalgamated, and in an integral way, having matured in this sort of art. And finally, Ouresis has also a side which we could call cryptic, symbolic, and one just needs to look at this painting, which is all other things that we have in this exhibition are reproductions, but this is an original work, and it's called Aniondes. Aniondes, the ascending ones. You see the blue, the hues of blue. This is the Theos Gonophos, the cloud of the unknowing, and it becomes, lighter. It's the same color. It's one color here. It seems that there are more than one color, but it's only one color. It's blue in its full range of the hues and the palette of blue. Here, of course, Byzantine. Okay, the Byzantine Christ, Pantocrator. In the middle, our Renaissance Michelangelo Pietà Jesus. And of course, around the Mark Rothko border. And in that way, Ouresis, again, as a great master, I would say, recapitulates modernity, Renaissance, and the Middle Ages in one integral unity. Here we have, again, the deformed Christ, folded, and an interesting depiction here where he explores the theme of the Aboriginal Christ, the indigeneity element. What would, an indigenous person depict Christ like? So very subtle, very sort of, this is not just a painting, it's also sculptured, the wood has been worked. You can see that, when it comes to the eyes. And this is again one of his first works, one we like to call, you know, the Nietzschean Messiah, tortured and standing there in humility. This one is the burial of Christ, but it's interesting because the body is suspended. And I always think of this depiction of the burial of Christ as being an allusion of Ouresis to the resurrection. So again, as he was playing with the ascending and descending elements of the resurrected Christ, here he's depicting, let's say, formally the burial, but in essence he is showing the resurrection, where the body of Christ is not anymore subjected to natural laws. So that's it. We have one artist. Okay, yeah, we could look at this as well. This is a very interesting piece because it's a portable fresco. It's the actual size of it is this, the original, and it's a fresco done as an icon, which is portable and you can move around. It's not on a wall. It's a technique that Ouresis is working the last years on, and he's reviving a very ancient tradition. I believe he's one of the few artists, you know, globally that is trying to work the fresco in exactly the same way as the artists of old. Here we have the Christ of the Second Coming as a youngish angel. So you have Jesus, you know, in all these shapes and forms and artistic techniques, aesthetic interpretations. Actually, it has been a theology in the making, sometimes a bold theology, sometimes more, let's say, recognizable in terms of its orthodox roots, other times much more risky, innovative, and original. And I would dare say that Ouresis Todorovic as an artist, as an iconographer, as a visual artist, and a person that has been infatuated by the theme of Christ, will keep on, you know, surprising us. And if anything, he has provided a corpus of artworks that is very, very interesting, intriguing, and worth discussing and delving into. And I think that we will have this opportunity during the last day of the conference, the International Conference on Christology at the beginning of the 21st century. We will have the opportunity to, with other colleagues, to look into what exactly is his work telling us in terms of the possibility to unite the Eastern and the Western Christian traditions. What does it provide as an accomplished work in terms of this reconciliation and unity?